Oh, I got a movie for you today. This is Remo Williams. The Adventure Begins. Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins is a movie from 1985. It is an action adventure sort of comedy. Apparently, it's based on a series of novels called the Destroyer series. And it's about a guy who basically takes on a brand new identity and starts working for the Secret Service. And he's trained as an assassin by this Korean guy, or I'll get into the details a little later. This movie is called The Adventure Begins because I'm guessing they wanted to make a whole bunch of these movies. But watching this one got to the point where I couldn't wait for this adventure to end. It's not a bad movie, though. It's just so damn long. The point of it all is that this guy is kind of like a schlubby kind of cop that gets chosen for the Secret Service or whatever, and they stage his death and they give him a new identity and everything, and they train him under this martial arts master, Master Chun. So most of this movie is like the training montages. He's able to do like remarkable things, and he's trained to be an assassin and have all these like basically almost superhuman powers, kung fu powers or whatever. But it's not kung fu, it's something else. So most of the movie is that, and other parts of the movie. There's some other action scenes, sequences that are not bad, I guess. It's a weird kind of mashup of like James Bond movies in the whole like Secret Service thing, and then I guess he's like kind of a ninja. Ninja movies were big in the 80s. So yeah, we got this guy. We got Remo Williams. It stars Fred Ward, who you may recognize from Tremors. I've always liked this guy. I think he's a charismatic actor. They gave him this lead role because he is a likable, tough guy. This was supposed to be his flagship movie, and it didn't do very well. Also in the movie you will find, of all people, Wilford Brimley. The guy from Cocoon, the Quaker Oats guy, the diabetes with a big mustache and the glasses and the grandpa, right? And he's like the head of this Secret Service division or whatever, and basically there's just like a couple of scenes of him sitting at a computer and doing research. This is a big budget movie. We got computers and satellites and all this stuff that the general public doesn't even know about, and only Wilford Brimley can control these things. You get a guy named Joel Grey, who is, I believe, an English actor. Now this is a little bit problematic, and probably what kind of made me not like the movie that much was the fact that Joel Grey is made up to look Korean. I guess they did a good job on the makeup. But it's totally cultural appropriation. I'm pretty sure that the style of martial arts that this Master Chun teaches Remo Williams is made up. I don't know that much about Korean history or really much about Korean culture at all, but I have a feeling it's pretty misrepresented here. I think Joel Grey's performance is a little bit insulting, and that's like one of the notable things about this movie too, is the white guy playing an Asian actor. Why didn't you just get an Asian actor? Oh, also in this movie you will find Kate Mulgrew, Captain Janeway from Star Trek Voyager, I think. And she plays like a major in the army, and she comes across this plot of some weapons dealer is made with the military, and he's doing shady stuff, and people are getting killed. And for the majority of the movie, or at least the parts that she's in the first 70% of the movie, she's very career driven. She's kind of a hard ass, and seems like a powerful woman, and she takes no shit from anybody. But then there's a scene where Remo Williams infiltrates this army base where she's at, and the two of them get trapped together in this room, and they're gonna gas them or whatever. Remo happens to save her, And then from that point on in the movie, she's pretty much damsel in distress, and all that other stuff goes out the window, and she does nothing for the rest of the movie. What happened to all that strong woman stuff? And now you're just going to let Remo Williams' Superman take over and do everything for you, and basically be just like, look out, Remo! Yeah, and there is some good action in here, though, I'm going to say. Like, so Remo Williams gets trained in these, like, martial arts and things. And his training is basically, like, parkour or something, run around on the rooftop or at the edge of a building and hang onto a Ferris wheel for some stupid reason, learns how to dodge bullets and run on water, and that's all well and good. And some of these like powers that he has actually make play in some of the action sequences. There's one where he has to fight off like hitmen that are going to kill him on this construction site, which happens to be the Statue of Liberty when it was undergoing its like renovation or whatever in 1985, and they had the scaffolding all around it. So Remo Williams has to fight off these construction worker / hitmen guys or whatever, and these guys get paid like, here you go, 27, 28, 29, 30 bucks. These guys got paid $30 to kill Remo Williams. Because, I mean, even in 1985 dollars, taking somebody else's life only cost you $30? What kind of horrible human being are you if you're just like, yeah, sure, I'll kill that guy, $30, case of beer. Anyway, that scene was pretty good, and you get to see him, like, climbing around on the outside of the statue and, like, doing acrobatics around the scaffolding and stuff like that. That was cool. And there's another scene, too, where he's like hanging on logs or whatever. I don't know what you call it. It's like a hook, and it goes along wires, and it drags the logs across the landscape down the mountains or whatever. Remo was hanging off of one of those, and people are shooting at him and stuff, and that was an exciting scene. And there's also like a car crash, a very realistic car crash that doesn't explode. So like the action is good. And the characters are not bad. Like I said, Fred Ward, I like him. It's just Joel Grey, kind of, that whole thing. And I did actually like his character, and he was meant to be funny and, the strict teacher and everything. And there's just that whole thing hanging over that's not that cool. And it just took a really long time to get from one scene to the other. Mostly because most of it was just training, and that was dull. I mean, it was supposed to be funny, but it wasn't that funny, and the rest of it just like played out. It's like, okay, now this is gonna happen, now this is gonna happen, when's this gonna happen, and finish this fucking movie. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give this a boring old C+. You might like this if you are into 80s action movies and Fred Ward, I guess, if you're a fan. Yeah, so there are some bright spots in this movie, but it's mostly pretty dull, and those bright spots are kind of few and far between. There's nothing bad about this movie, it's just too long, and the pacing of it is not good, and it's just not that exciting, which is weird for an action movie that promises to be the greatest adventure of all time. I mean, it's not for me, but it's not that bad. Anyway, until next time, have a good one, everybody.